Closed captioning for The Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on The Casey Malone Show.
Today I pay a visit to CR Brewing Company in Newcastle, and I prepare Wacky Cake. It is dairy-free. But first, let's stop at the worldwide headquarters of Toom & Company Watches in Warren. I've been really looking forward to meeting Greg Toom. This is Augie's brother. And, Augie from the bike shop, well, he is the watchmaster. And I own a Greg Toom original right here from Gruen. And I wore it today. Wonderful. And now you have your own watch company.
Yeah, I spent my life in the watch business, and after 37 years working for other companies, I decided to retire from corporate life and start my own business with my son, Greg.
You are strictly online. This is not like a watch shop that you come in. I mean, you have a big online presence. And is that just the way the market goes?
Well, we think that brick and mortar shopping is important, but it's COVID-19 and consumer habits have changed where the Gen Z millennial consumers not as crazy about walking into a department store with 26 different departments. They'd rather shop in a boutique environment where something specific to what they're looking for is available. I decided to make an exclusive launch for Toom & Company on the internet for those reasons and a few other ones.
What makes Toom & Company a better watch?
We're not a discount brand. We invented the brand to provide a consumer product that is uniquely designed. We're not selling knockoffs of famous brands.
Yes.
We created Toom & Company's design from scratch, not just the watch finished product, but the components themselves. We spent, in some cases, years, but let's say the grand sum of what we've developed is in our launch line. So we use material science. A lot of my experiences in the industry, I say every trick of my trick bag I've used to present to the customer a highly durable, high quality watch at a price that is untouchable by my competition.
You are involved with the components, the design, the casing, and you even do the engraving. I think that's kind of a little special touch that every watch ordered gets engraved if they so choose to have something put on the back.
Well, we figured that since we are a micro brand and we're selling something that is unique in its own design and how it's built and what it's built from, so we felt that by personalizing it with world-class engraving, this machine back here is, please, anyone who's listening, Google FOBA and you could read about the Rolls-Royce of engraving machines to put a personal message on the back. The women's watch can handle up to 28 characters, and the men's watch is large enough that it can handle 32 characters.
How did you come up with the specific size and the face and in that design element, because obviously you have an eye for design? How did you decide upon this for your initial launch?
Well, my research was about what is the most popular size watch for a woman and the most popular size watch for a man. But we chose a design that's lugless, meaning there's no ears sticking out from the watch case to hold the strap, which makes the watch have a super unique visual look.
I see. Okay.
And also, it lays on the wrist in an entirely different way than a watch that has lugs.
We mentioned your brands, Boulevard, Fossil, Gruen, when you did the design work. Why What is it that appeals to you about watches? I mean, you went to school, you know, for 3 years learning how to repair, make, fix. What is it about timepieces?
Well, I think the best way of answering your question really goes way back to the beginning. When I was a teenager, I think just like every young boy trying to figure out a way of getting close to his father, my dad, he collected watches and clocks as a hobby. And so I went to antique shows, estate sales, flea markets, wherever there was old items for sale, just as a way of doing something together with him. And then I, through doing that, got the bug. And after 2 years at a high estate, I quit college, went to watchmaking school instead for 3 years, got a degree in watchmaking, and then started from there.
With your son and you running this business, do you see new designs coming out? Do you already have a, you know, template in your head about what you'd like to introduce next?
Our wheels are turning continuously on new trending colors. Just like I had mentioned, we have colors for spring. This Biscayne green and the rose gold watches over here with the orange. Those were introduced for spring of this year. And we'll introduce 2 new introductions for fall in the men's and 2 introductions for women. Basically, line extensions from the launch collections.
I mean, really interesting that Warren, Ohio right now is the world headquarters for Tuma Company. Right here. The world headquarters right here in Trumbull County, and beautiful watches, they really are.
Thank you.
Well, you remember Augie Toom. It's been a while since you've been on the show.
It's been a while.
And the bike business has really blown up since COVID.
Oh, for sure.
Because you were saying, man, nobody wants to buy bikes. Everyone's inside watching what you think it was video games.
I don't know. Last year was the biggest year we ever had.
In the history of Toom's bikes.
And this year is bigger than last year. So.
What did you see? Entire families coming in and just buying one? Mom, dad,
oh, that happens
sister,
a lot.
brother?
Happens a lot, or just bikes for the kids. But yeah, multiple sales are sort of the rule of thumb. The e-bikes have just flown off the shelves.
What's the e-bike? Tell me about that. We got to go look at one of those. So I don't have to pedal?
You have to pedal. It works like power steering in your car. You have to turn the steering wheel, but the pump makes it easier to turn the steering wheel. Well, you have to turn the pedals, but the assist module makes it easier to turn.
You have one?
Oh yeah.
And you highly recommend it? Does it need gas?
Hamburgers. Use a lot of hamburgers.
So. Now, those ones with the really big fat tires, what are those called, cruisers? The ones that are, those are for the beach?
Well, originally they were for the beach, but the fat bikes were made for snow. So up north, you know, they created the fat bikes so they could ride in the wintertime.
Have you been selling a lot of those? We had a hell of a winter this year.
Yeah, it's a niche market for sure.
And don't forget, we've got Greg right there in the back.
That's right.
See, there you go. Oh, there's Greg Square. We've got 2 Gregs there. Looking, say hey, Greg. Bill's buddy. Hubbard guy, Hubbard in the house, right here at Toom's. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. I've been giving the people of our valley free advice for over 30 years, and my message has never changed. If you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative, dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the red tape that you may face. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court, and remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
That's good advice. Need a lawyer? Learn more at ElizabethBernardLaw.com.
Family-owned Mayflower Woolham Insurance Group is your full-service independent agency. Our family works with a variety of insurance companies, so you have the best choices for your insurance needs. Let us find the right product at the right price. Personal lines, business, farm, commercial insurance, life insurance. Trust locally owned Mayflower Woolham. You focus on what's important.
We'll take care of the details.
Mayflower Woolham, close by with 3 locations to serve you.
Woolley Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old World Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans. At Woolley Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available. Given is living. Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available at $13 an hour. Given is living.
Well, I am here with Rude, the dude at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. And it is never too early to start planning your parties.
No, Casey, yeah, we have our banquet room that's attached to the building here for, upcoming graduations, communion, things of that nature. We also have a catering menu for offsite. So if you're interested in just letting us cook for you for your parties, we can do that. So if you want to check out our websites, you can see what we have to offer.
And what is the capacity under COVID guidelines for the side room?
Following all the COVID guidelines, we can hold up to 80 people.
Oh, so, you can still party safely here at the Magic Tree. And I gotta tell you, that menu, you have more farmers on that menu than the Canfield Fair.
Yeah, well, we love to support local here at Magic Tree, so supporting our local breweries and farms is what we like to do.
And the biggest selection of craft beer, it's all here. Magic Tree Pub and Eatery.
I personally feel that Forever Mark is the best because only 1% of diamonds can even become a Forever Mark diamond.
Diamonds take millions of years to be formed in the ground, and it's not very pretty. Once you get to that inner core of the diamond, it really can give beauty and light.
Forever Mark goes beyond the technical qualities of the 4 Cs. They hand-pick diamonds that are truly beautiful.
Get real, get Kamara.
You better come on in my kitchen.
Today I'm going to bake for you a really fun dessert. It's called Wacky Cake. It's also called Crazy Cake. There's a lot of different cookbooks that feature this. And while we were on lockdown, my girlfriend Colleen shared this with me because there was a lot of cooking and baking going on. And this is a really easy recipe. So if you're not a baker, you are going to love this little cake. And during World War II, when they were rationing butter and eggs and milk, this was developed so you would still have a decent cake that would rise. And because the baking soda that's in it and the vinegar activates it. So the ingredients are very common, things you're gonna have in your pantry. And let's get going. We are going to make Wacky Cake. For this recipe, you'll need 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose unbleached flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 cup of brewed coffee or water, 1/3 cup canola oil, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips, optional, and 1/4 cup powdered sugar, also optional. Now, because of the oil in the cake, the original recipe says to stir, mix, and do everything in the same pan, and then you don't have to grease it. But I find that it's messy and it still was sticking. So I'm gonna put everything in a bowl, mix it, and then add it to a greased 8x8 pan. So we'll start with the dry ingredients. We have the flour. I'm going to add the sugar, the cocoa powder, baking soda, very important, and the salt. So before we add the wet ingredients, we'll just whisk this together. We'll get all the lumps out. Now I am going to add the wet ingredients. So the canola oil. There you go. Very important. You want a neutral oil. You can use grapeseed. Also, the vinegar. This is important to activate. You could use red wine too if you don't have apple cider. The vanilla. I saved some coffee that was left over from my pot. This really adds a depth to it. I do it with my brownies too, but you can also use just regular plain water. But if you have extra coffee, this is a good way to use it. See, I still have the grounds on the bottom. And all the other ingredients are optional, and that's for later. I'll discuss that later. So now we just stir this, and what's really nice is you don't even have to bring out the mixer or anything. And just combine this and get a nice smooth batter. And get all the lumps out. And we will add it to our prepared pan. But look at this. Honestly, this is so easy to whip up. Look at you, you'll be like a scratch baker. Now I preheated the oven to 350 degrees. Now, this wasn't in the original recipe, but since it's been going around, they suggest dropping these in since you're not gonna be frosting this cake. So I got some Ghirardelli chocolate chips and about 2 or 3 teaspoons, or tablespoons rather. And you just kind of drop them on the top, and it really does make a nice presentation. And then we're just gonna bake this 30 to 35 minutes. Start watching it at 30, but I'm not sure how your oven runs. And you definitely wanna check it with a toothpick because you want it to come out clean. So start checking this at 30 minutes. Well, isn't this beautiful? I could hardly wait to eat it. So I let it cool for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but it was still warm. So what's nice is if you cut it while it's warm, if you're using the chocolate chips, they're a little gooey and it's just like a little extra treat. So I did use the powdered sugar, but again, that is all optional. And I want to stress checking your bake time. Usually mine goes to about 35 minutes. And when I did the toothpick, it was pretty soupy, so I had to add another 5 minutes. So just watch your bake time in the center. But this wacky cake is really good. I suggest a nice strong cup of coffee, keeping with the dairy-free options. So, let's see how I did. So easy. And ingredients that you have right here in your cupboard. Go to my website, caseymalonесhow.com, and look for this recipe, and you are now going to become a scratch baker. Cheers. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
To own a business where your name's on the window can be pretty cool. That's my family. My name is Danny Catullo, and I'm the owner of Catullo Prime Meats. My grandfather started the business in 1962. I was able to take our old style butcher shop and bring it out to the new age using e-commerce to get our products to more customers. When we started shipping, there was not a ton of information out there. That's where we really worked with FedEx so they could be able to help us with our perishable shipping. We were taking on new purchases that we never had to make before. Boxes, coolers, ice packs, anything that was involved around shipping. So we can no longer do this with the cash that we had on hand. So because of the Plum Card from American Express and all of its benefits, it was a natural fit to help grow our business. And when someone calls and lets you know that you made their dinner, that's satisfaction that you can't get anywhere else.
Is it time to update your color style? R&S Paint will assist you with your choice of over 3,400 Benjamin Moore colors. Vibrant, durable, and easy to apply. Be current, be stylish. Shop R&S Paint.
My basement was dreadful. Cracked concrete, chipped tiles, it was my dumping ground. Carpet, vinyl, wood don't last. Now I have Pebblestone, the best basement floor covering, made with natural stone and the strongest man-made binder. Pebblestone evened out my floor. Easy to clean, resists moisture, and withstands flooding. You will love your basement. Call locally owned Pebblestone, the best flooring system. It's not just any stone, it's Pebblestone.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Well, today we're over here in Newcastle at the CR Brewing Company, which is a part of the Crane Room, and this is a family operation. We've got Greg Measle, who is one of the owners, and then an assistant brewer, his brother Jeff, brother-in-law Brian McDowell. I mean, you guys really have a serious operation here.
Absolutely, it's definitely a family business. Brian's our head brewer and pretty much takes care of the recipes and runs the brewing operation, and that's where we're located right now, and is on the floor of our brewery.
Why did you think the Crane Room needed to add a brewing company in addition to, like, that's a great restaurant? And he's also the GM there. So why did you start this brewing adventure?
Sure. Well, Brian's been home brewing ever since my brother Jeff had bought him a homebrew kit, and he was just making such good beers, and we had such success at the restaurant with the craft beer market and expanding our taps that it was just a natural progression.
You're not bottling or anything?
Correctly. Right now, the Crane Room is the main outlet. You know, we serve it at the Crane Room for our beer, and then we also are distributing in the Pittsburgh area through kegs. So some of the other bars and restaurants in the area do carry our product.
What was the first beer you brewed?
The first beer we did two. The first beers we brewed were our Kolsch. And
I love a Kolsch.
It's very popular. It's our most popular
And in the
beer
summertime,
here, yes.
I mean, there is so sessionable.
Yes.
Like that term?
Yes, it's very good. Yes, people can drink a lot of the Kolsch.
5% ABV, pretty
yes,
light.
Right around there, yes. The Kolsch, the first brew, we also wanted to do some stuff in bourbon barrels. So we actually aged the Kolsch in a bourbon barrel, which is not normally done, but that came out a very good product and one of our more popular ones as well that we have. So this was the system he was trained on when he took the brewery class at UC Davis, which actually has a bachelor's program.
Yeah.
So my sister bought him some classes, and he started using this as his home brewing system. This is almost like a really good system to get your recipe down, because it's identically the same thing as our system in its process. It's just you got to keep it. You can burn stuff. You know, there's direct flame there. We have steam jackets on ours so that we're not likely to burn. So we have a boiler.
So do you use this to maybe experiment?
Yes. We make small batches. Yes. The thing is, it takes 6 hours to do. So we'll normally do it when we're doing a big batch. You'll see them on our tap system up there too. We got a yellow one.
Oh,
and there's a bigger one too.
Oh my gosh.
That's cool, man.
That is it's really keeping with your theme.
Yes.
So this would be what your tap room uses, is the tasting room and is like the loft bar?
Yes, so this is open for restaurant dining and for people to come in and typically it would have been at the bar beforehand, so yes.
Yeah, so then you also have the Crane Room, so this would be called like the loft bar?
We call this the loft, yes.
And then all the great food that's at the Crane Room is also available here.
Yes.
And then if we have non-beer drinkers?
We have a full select, we have full liquor bar, wine, and pretty much whatever people want, yes.
So if people, I didn't realize that this was all a new build to what was existing.
Correct. How did 2017, when the brewery was being, looking to be added on, we had some different options beforehand, but then we decided to basically go big with it, and we added about 20,000 square feet, which is where you are. And we used we had a building that we had wanted to save some of the pieces of it and had demolished downtown Newcastle. It was an Elks Club that was a 100-year-old building, so we kept the steel trusses for that and the limestone pillars that are the main entrance in our back of the building now.
So you really have a lot of salvaged, history.
Yes, obviously
from Newcastle.
Absolutely, and the Crane Room started, in a sense, from being a building that was industrial. It was a tanner plating and did industrial with a crane. That is our Kolsch.
And a lot of people don't do Kolsch's, which I think these are really.
It's very light and refreshing. It's our most popular, I would say, beer here. I would say for sure. And then obviously we have some other additions. We're going to go next. Will be the blood orange Kolsch after that. So.
This is really refreshing.
Thank you.
That is very good. What are you having?
I have the blood orange Kolsch too. So.
And that's what I'm having now?
So if you want to toast, yes, that's what we're having next. So yes.
Cheers.
To the blood orange Kolsch.
To an orange Kolsch. Oh, wow. But it's not too orangey.
No, just a little blood orange puree.
It's just got a nice, it's very good. Now, what is this one?
This one came about from our first batch that we brewed, which was the Kolsch, and we had some bourbon barrels that we wanted to use because I like bourbon, and we just saw on the back. And ultimately, this is the bourbon barrel aged Kolsch. So it's gonna pick up some alcohol, so it's gonna be about 9% compared to the regular 5.2 for the Kolsch.
You know what this is? You should call this a Boilermaker.
Really good, isn't it?
Remember the Boilermakers?
Yes.
When those guys would want the shot in a beer, sometimes they drop it right in.
That's a good idea. We have to add some names to our beer, so that's a good idea, definitely.
Call it Casey's Boilermaker.
Boilermaker Kolsch.
This is delicious.
And the next one we have is the stout, so we got a dark one here for you.
Yes,
we've done some varieties of these
stouts
as well. Yes, so this you're gonna pick up some coffee notes with this.
Mm-hmm. It smells good. It smells. You can smell the coffee. Oh, this is smooth. This is really good. It's good, and it's cold. So in the summer, now do some people like to have this at room temperature?
I don't get a lot of people that request that. Yes,
that.
I don't get a lot of people requesting room temperature.
Hey, thank you. Let me see, which one should I cheer with?
You do the blood orange or do the bourbon barrel?
I'll do
Let's do the stout.
that.
All right. Cheers.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.